Nagaland আজিকালি নিজৰ খতা কোৰিয়া আৰু ট্ৰেডিশন প্ৰমোট কোৰিয়া দেখি পা নিচিনা হৰ্নবিল টিভি পাই টু অপৰ Croatian research scholar kon Changki khota hikibole Nagaland aishi taige khota kurishi abi details sab
Olop sal agere study ekta research kurigene ja hisab hole to moi khan laga tribal languages kan dialects kan teni die nishna khan lotha kotha nishna khan ao khan la kotha nishna khan aste bra moi khan use na kurigene jai ja do olop sal de moi khan itu do naturally gene jai thagishe kole ro extinct hoi jawle gayab hoi jawle laga fear ekta olop sal agere itu laga research kurikene ula nishna mohan thik itu lag kotha kurle right person mohan logode ase Mr. Victor tairo all the way from Croatia ahishe yere especially Changki khan laga kotha hikiule tai khan hoilebi tai research kuri thaga tairo linguistic laga research scholar ase language study kuri thaga homoi tai kile yere ahigene moi khan laga kotha hikiule important lagishe itu eklai noe hoilebi tribals khan laga kotha hando kiman unique ase aru moi khan kile mohan la kotha hando embrace kro lage kile itu khan hi cholai gena age jawo lage itu la discuss khan bi kuro itu lage mohan tai 5 months Changki village te under Mokchung district Changki village te buina Changki khan la kotha hikishide tai lode kotha kurne jawo tai la experience bi kinya thagishe itu bichire moi khan all in all mohan la tribal dialects languages khan la upor bi kotha kuro thank you Mr. Victor for speaking to us all the way from Croatia reached Changki in the month of February this year 5 months 4.5 months in Changki village how was it like
Well, 5 months in India in total, but yeah, 4 months, a little bit more, I think around 4 months in Changki. For me, it was the first time in Asia, and first of all, I have to say hi to everyone who made this stay like so nice to me. And for me, it was a brilliant experience, not only related to my linguistic studies, the science that I'm doing, the science of language, but also because of all of the brilliant people that I met and that made my stay so nice and brilliant.
so I think you know a little bit of Nagamese also I mean just here and there right but particularly you were here for the Changki dialect yeah how was your experience like all in all this 5 months of your stay in Nagaland in Changki
Well, I don't know a lot of Nagamese because in Changki people speak Changki. People speak their own language. So for Nagamese, I know Batkaishe, Kilokotkaishe, Gaurimangse. That's what I know in Nagamese. Not a lot. But yeah, I've managed to pick up some of the Changki language. I've managed to learn to speak, and I've translated a lot of stories that people told me. I worked closely with people from the village who are very much acquainted with their culture, with their language. They're very, very knowledgeable, and people were very interested in helping me study their own language. The village council helped me so much. My neighbors helped me so much. Anything that was required, to find someone to work with, to talk to somebody, to translate. Everybody was so kind. So my experience, I really can't say anything bad about it. You Naga people, Ao people, Samdang Pungano, how you would say it in Changki, yeah.
See, while talking about the importance of learning your own language, tribal languages, right now here in Nagaland we're facing something that is kids these days they're having a lot of Western culture influence. When you are coming all the way from Croatia to learn our language, for us, a lot of us are at this point finding English more important for kids. They go to school, they come back, and now they're already talking in English rather than their own languages, their own dialects. So I believe there are some people who would want to learn again their own dialect. Some people who made the mistake of not learning their own tribal languages when they were younger. Now I believe some would want to learn. So how should they go about, in a very systematic way, a language that we can understand I'm sure you have your own technical ways, but something simpler for people or for laymen. How should they go about in learning again someone's tribal language or someone's, if they want to learn their own language also?
Well, in that case, the most important thing would be, so if like, let's take one language such as Changki. The most important thing is for the community, like the Changki community, to make steps towards preserving their own language if they want to. So the Changki community also, before I came, they compiled a Changki dictionary, which has like 5,000 words. So people will always be able to learn from there. The thing that I'm doing, linguistics, is gonna promote the language, is gonna learn something scientific from the language, and I hope that people will, when seeing me study their own language, that they will want to learn their own language again. But they just, the most important thing is for the language not to die. So first, if a language is spoken in the village, you have to learn it. You need to go there and talk to elders and learn it. Because if nobody speaks the language anymore, it's called in linguistics language death. There's no more language then. So if you want to continue to speak the language, the community needs to actively, preserve it. Make some books, study it, learn to speak. I've come here for science, and science alone can't solve all problems. No.
See, there are many other countries, many other places where there are tribals, where there are unique dialects. However, how comes or what made you and your supervisor decide to come all the way, fly thousands and thousands of miles away, and come all the way here to Nagaland to learn Changki? What made you realize that you wanted to study Changki?
So my supervisor has been working on these on some languages in Nagaland and Arunachal for quite some time, and I always wanted to study a language that has not been studied a lot before. Like 2 million people are studying English or Hindi, and nobody is studying Changki. Why is that? We as linguists, we consider every language as equally important, to science. From every language, we have something to learn, whether it's new sounds or new types of sentences or something. So when I talked to my supervisor, I just told him, in Nagaland there are lots of different languages. Is there like some language that hasn't been worked on? And he said, yeah, there's this dialect of Ao called Changki. I know a person from there. Maybe we can ask the people there if they're okay with it. So we asked the village council if it's okay for me to come there. But also any linguistic scholar from Nagaland could also do it. In Nagaland University, you have a linguistics department. You have a Tenidie department who helped me really much with coming here and everything. So also people from Nagaland and people from the Northeast are very much encouraged to do this thing that I'm doing. If you're from a community where someone speaks a dialect of language or language that just 100 or 500 people speak, go and work on that language. The community needs to get it. Yeah, that's how you could preserve. You don't need Western scholars to do that. You just need to be interested in keeping your languages alive.
The last second question, why is it important to preserve tribal languages, unique languages, especially in spaces where the population is very less?
Because this is just my point of view. Because language is what makes us human. We think through language. We communicate through language. If we didn't have language, we would just be the same as animals, So, and every language is different, and language is like a mirror of one's own humanity, So if you preserve a language, you preserve like a unique part of the whole world, of the whole world's culture. So I think it's just beautiful. you know.
Lastly, what would you rate your Changki right now after 5 months of staying there, living with them, adapting to their culture, their language, everything? What would you rate your Changki right now on a scale of 1 to 10? And can you give your final closing statement in Changki dialect?
I would rate my Chunky as like 3 or 4. Out of 10, yeah. Ni nina Chunky udze Meraka sanaro Meraka dang nachetro. That means I speak a little bit and I understand a little bit. Chunky, I am go. Tisayari Chantia Chunky Tisayari Chantia liano. There are lots of Chunky teachers in Chunky for me. So Chunky Ningri Tamang Nina Nangze Sam Dang Palaro. I thank you very much, Chunky people, for having me in your village, and to all the Naga people for their hospitality and good food and good auksa, that's pork, gauri mangse, for their pork and all the brilliant dishes and all the brilliant fun that I had.
Thank you so much for speaking to Hornbill TV, and
No problem.
we hope that your research right now you're doing in the Chunky dialect will end well. We hope to read your research papers as well and see how much you learned and you know how your work went. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Itu tagishe Hornbill TV aji Chunky dialect learn kuru bole all the way from Croatia here Mr. Victor ge kotha kura. Mohanla language to kile preserve kuro lage itu laga importance la upor holibi. Ahia din khan doi tai kagos khan bi likhiole ase tai la research papers khan holibi itu khan holi kina jaishe itu khan bi arubi apni an ge update ko ita garne man hobo ke kresenyo ke ho camera person Wong Hornbill TV Dimapur.